Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday morning. I hope everybody is having a fabulous week so far. We have a lot to cover, but before we do, let me just say to you guys that I've had a lot of people commenting that they can't see comments or something's going on. I don't remove comments unless they're abusive. If you are having trouble seeing comments or your stuff is disappearing, you need to reach out to YouTube, okay? They're the ones with the control. All right, let's get in there, shall we? Let's go. We're going to start off today with Prince William, who paid a visit to a gentleman named Alfred Gardner, who was one of only two surviving passengers from the Windrush ship, the famous one that came in 1948. It is the 75th anniversary of the docking of that ship in London this year, and this gentleman, who was 97, got a surprise visit from Prince William. And Prince William basically honored the contribution that he's had to the community in Leeds. According to the story, 3 months after he arrived, he set up a local cricket club. And pretty cool. William said to him, and I'm quoting, "I would imagine when you set up a cricket club, it was a bit of a hub for everyone around the area, but you've been such a positive spirit. That's always been you." And Alfred replied, "Yeah, that's always been me." So ITV is doing a documentary in partnership with the Pride of Britain Award and talks about the Windrush generation. I think that's pretty cool. All right, moving on. Moving on now, the king has always talked about slimming down the monarchy. The problem is now there's not enough working royals to go around. So now supposedly, allegedly, there are some official talks going on because they're trying to get Beatrice and Eugenie, who are not official working royals, to step up because they need the help. Now, with both of them married and not living in the UK full time, it'll be interesting to see how this how this works out. And they're saying that, there's nobody else. That's not true. Lady Louise will be done with college in a year or two. She could absolutely step up, as could her younger brother as soon as he finishes college. So, and I, for one, still don't specifically trust Eugenie because I think she might still be releasing information to Harry and Meghan. You know what I mean? One Twitter user said, how about other people like Lady Sarah Chatto's sons, Samuel and Arthur? People that are further down on the list, they could be asked to help out as well. Okay, moving on. Sticking with King Charles, he received the ambassador of the Democratic Republic of the Congo and the High Commissioner for Zambia at Buckingham Palace. No, don't ask me to pronounce their names. Moving on. Now, sticking with King Charles, he and Queen Camilla had a reception at Buckingham Palace, and it was to thank everybody that was involved in the planning and staging of the late Queen's funeral and also Charles's coronation. Now, as you're looking at this receiving line, you can see Anne is there. Also, Sophie was there, the Duchess, but I don't have any pictures of her, but she was there also. So anyway, Charles and Camilla thanked those who worked on what they called Operation London Bridge, which was for the Queen, and Operation Golden Orb. So they had people from the government bodies, the churches, media, civil institutions, the police. They had lots of people there. Other people that were spotted there were support staff, those involved in the behind-the-scenes planning, the operational running of everything, musicians, volunteers, like the place was just packed with people. Just in case you're unaware of it, Queen Elizabeth's death, they had it already planned out. It was called London Bridge. It was a 12 days of arrangements, the lying in state, the vigils, the state funeral, everything. And of course, we know that Charles and Camilla were crowned 8 months later. And the palace said that this reception gave an opportunity for Charles and Camilla and other members of the royal family, because again, Anne was there, Sophie was there, to thank and recognize a lot of the external organizations that were involved and helped. And I think that's very nice. Now, this was the nation's first state funeral for more than half a century, because the last time had been for Sir Winston Churchill in 1965. The Queen's coffin was on a gun carriage that was over 123 years old. Let's not cover all that again. Now, you see this person here with the beard and the mustache? Everybody was talking about that person because everybody was saying that that was Meghan in disguise at the coronation. But so there's the person again showing up. Anyway, it was pretty obvious from the pictures that Charles was really in high spirits. He was enjoying himself. Camilla also looked absolutely lovely. And I'm glad they were able to say thank you to everybody who worked so hard behind the scenes to get, everything taken care of. Moving on to our name and shame section. For those of you who don't like this section, please just skip past it. But the comments you see were written by a Dr. Andrew Theory, who is a diagnostic radiologist in Beverly Hills, California. I don't understand why these people don't learn that words on the internet are going to get you in trouble. So he got in trouble, and he put out an apology. Blah, blah, blah. Guess what? He lost his job. There you go. People don't put up with that crap. His employer put out a statement. They did the right thing. All right, who's next? Next up, you have Sarah Chowdhury, an Illinois attorney in the state comptroller's office. Oops, not anymore, because after her rant, she got terminated. And finally, Citibank fired this banker for publicly supporting Adolf Hitler's decision to murder Jews. Once again, they acted very swiftly on what this person said, and they themselves put out a statement condemning and said there was no way that their bank was going to have this person there. Moving on. Let's move on to Harry and Meghan. First off, the story has come out now that they were so humiliated about being fired from Spotify that they are going to fight back by giving their version of events to the world after they were called grifters. And they're saying they're going to tell their side of the story, and they have big plans to do that. Have they not learned anything? I'm going to guess not. All right, really quickly now, let's take a look at how Harry and Meghan are doing with Netflix. So we know the first project that they released was their 6-part docuseries where they told all kinds of stuff that it turned out was a lie, a lot of it. It debuted with a lot of fanfare. So even though it was on Netflix and they're saying it was so great, it didn't even take the #1 spot on Netflix's Golden Top 10 chart because Wednesday came out at the same time and they got a lot of backlash for it. Harry and Meghan got a lot of criticism for it, and the show has a 46% Rotten Critics score. Yeah. Next up, you had Live to Leave. It was 7 episodes. They didn't do anything with it. This stuff had been done years ago. They basically just bought it. And all they did was talk in the beginning about, leadership and character building, etc., etc. It didn't make Netflix's top 10, and it was overlooked by critics. It didn't do well. Of course. Moving on. Then you had The Heart of Invictus, which also did not make the top 10 list in its first week or subsequent streaming weeks. It didn't do well. And I don't know what to say. They're not turning out anything worth a darn. Don't forget that they had Pearl that they were going to release, which Netflix dumped off and said they weren't going to do. And unless Harry and Meghan light a fire and do something big, their contract's going to be canceled. I still think it's going to be canceled. All right, moving on. A blind item came out that basically says that the house that Harry wants to get in the UK is for when he's had enough of Meghan, so he's got somewhere to go. I believe it. Moving on. All right, I ran across this article. It is from last year. It's less than a year old, but it really caught my attention because remember when Meghan said women have a voice, they just have to be able to use their voice? And yet Meghan has silenced them because here you have ex-staff members who said that they were bullied by Meghan and it's all a game for her and she's loving it and they want to be able to speak out. But one of the problems they have is that they are bound by confidentiality agreements, which ban them from speaking out. And it's the palace that could sue in the event of a breach, not Meghan. But they're so afraid of legal action that, they just want to end it once and for all, they're saying. They want to be able to speak, and they want to be able to, speak out and slam on the lies, but they're being told they can't. All right, I saw these on Twitter, and I thought, And then I thought, what's going on? And then I started to see these articles. Apparently, there was a hacker who leaked the genetic profiles to 4 million people. His name is Golem, and he stole the profiles from a DNA testing firm called 23andMe. He published the data on a cybercrime marketplace, and they think that there's profiles of the British royal family, such as the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and some of the wealthiest people in the world, that were stolen. The royal family hasn't confirmed whether that's legitimate, but what I don't understand is, who cares? So you have their genetic profile. What exactly do you think you're going to do with it? So, you can't clone people with it. Am I missing something? What exactly? Okay, so you have my genetic profile. Okay, you're going to release my genetic profile. Okay, now what? What are you going to do with my genetic profile? Now, according to the article, these could be used for targeted campaigns against race, gender, ethnicity. I don't get it. You have their genetic profile. Who cares? So if you guys know of a reason why people should be afraid that their genetic profiles are out, please let me know what it is, because I guess it's just going over my head. That's all I know. All right, moving on. And finally, this article just got me, because apparently since they've thrown all the allegations at the family and everybody, Harry wants not only relatives but staff to apologize to Meghan for the way she was treated. Are you kidding? They really do want to just destroy the royal family. They're like, if we can't be in charge, if Meghan can't be in charge, if she can't move up the ladder, then we just need to move on and move out. Okay, so move on and move out already. All right, you guys, you know what to do. Put those comments down and make them good. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that bell. And if you've already done that, double check and make sure you're still subscribed. For those of you who've donated to my coffee fund or through the thanks button, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.